Hey everybody, Low Carb Keith here. Back in my kitchen, I want to make another delicious low carb meal. You know, if you follow me at all, you know that I love a casserole, but you also know that I love meatballs. So this week I found a recipe for a cheesy meatball casserole, and that's what I'm going to make. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make the meatballs. And we'll do that by taking a pound of ground beef, and we're going to put that in our bowl. This is just regular 80-20 ground beef that I got at the grocery store. And then we're just going to add some things to it. You know, you could add whatever you want to with it. I'm going to add a half a cup of mozzarella cheese. So we're going to put some shredded mozzarella in there. I'm also going to add a quarter of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. You could use shredded Parmesan if you wanted to. And the recipe called for onion powder, but I had some minced onions left over and I thought I would use those. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon and a half, maybe a little bit more of minced onion. The onion really gives it a lot of great flavor. We've got some Italian seasoning that we're going to put in there. Not a lot, maybe about a half of a teaspoon or so of Italian seasoning. I've got a little bit of garlic powder, not very much, maybe another half teaspoon of garlic powder we're going to put in there. And just a little bit of salt and pepper, just not much, just a little bit. And then we're going to add an egg. So it's one egg that goes in there. And that's it. Now, what we do is we're going to mix it up and we're going to make meatballs. We're going to take our hands and we're just going to mix all that together. Get all the dry ingredients mixed in good with the ground beef and the egg. And make sure that it's all mixed up really, really well. Now, I've made meatballs in the past similar to this, but I've not made it as a casserole dish. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook the meatballs first, and then we're going to put them in a casserole dish and add some other things to it that I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, I preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and we're going to make the meatballs, and we're going to yeah, that looks like it's mixed up pretty well. Everything's pretty well blended. We're going to make the meatballs and put them in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make them about the size of a golf ball. And you could cook them in your casserole dish, but the thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your grease is drained off the meatballs when you're finished. So let's do all of these meatballs and we'll put them in the oven, cook them. Let's put these in the oven. We'll check on them in about 15 minutes and we'll have some meatballs to go for our casserole. I've had my meatballs in the oven for about 18 minutes, so let's take them out. Oh yeah, there we go. See, there's a lot of water and a lot of grease in that. We're going to leave the oven on because what we're going to do is we are going to transfer our meatballs to our casserole dish that I've already sprayed with a little bit of cooking spray. And we're going to leave the grease and the moisture from those meatballs on our baking tray. The original recipe that I had said cook these in the casserole dish and then drain the grease. Well, you know, you could if you wanted to, if you didn't mind dirtying up another baking tray. But we're just going to transfer these over. And they're going to go back in the oven in just a few minutes. All right. There we go. All right. So now that we've transferred them to the baking tray or the casserole dish like this, what we're going to do, we are going to cover them with 1 cup of marinara sauce. Okay? That's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. 1 cup of marinara, and this is the low carb, the low sugar marinara sauce I found at the grocery store the other day. And then on top of that, we are going to add 1 cup of shredded cheese. And it can be any kind of shredded cheese that you want. I just happen to have a blend of shredded cheese. That is what it looks like. And we're going to put that in the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes, probably 10 minutes, to let that marinara sauce heat up and the cheese to melt. And then our cheesy meatball casserole will be ready. So let's do that. It looks really good. It's a little juicy, but I think part of that is from the sauce and probably some residual moisture from the meatballs, but that's okay. Let me lift it up so you can kind of get a look at it. Not like that. It's pretty good. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to take a taste test. I'm going to dig one of those out in the middle that has a lot of cheese on it. Put it in a bowl. And we're going to taste it. Okay. Here we go. That's what it looks like. Right there. Take a look, make sure it's done. It is done completely all the way through. All right, here we go. Oh man. That is really good. It's exactly what you would expect. A meatball with marinara sauce and cheese, covered in cheese. What more could you ask for? And it's really simple and really easy. You know, it's basically a pound of ground beef and then you put some other stuff in it to season it up. An egg, some cheese, and then you cook the meatballs, then you put them in the casserole dish, cover them with a little sauce and some cheese, and it's a delicious meal. And here's the thing. It is really low carb. I mean, it is even keto. The only thing that really has any carbs whatsoever in this whole dish is a little bit of the marinara sauce and the cheese. And I'm guessing that there's probably 16 meatballs. There's probably 1 net carb per meatball. So you could have 4 or 5 of those for a meal, and it'd be 4 or 5 carbs. And it's delicious, and it was easy to make. So when you're looking for something easy to make, just, figure it out. Find something that you've got in your kitchen, or come up with your own idea. It's really easy to do. All right, I'm gonna finish my meatball. And I'll be back soon with another low carb recipe for you. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Good stuff.